Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today our group will be presenting about a project called the IIUM Complaint Management System. So here are the group members. So my name is Arif Sadwan bin Zainal Aman, 2313947. The next we have Muhammad Arif Daniel bin Muhammad Hanif, 2013557. Rafi Hamshari bin Muhammad Azhar, 2312887. Then Putra Daniel Irfan bin Muhammad Rizal, 2311025. Then Shazwan Faris bin Shamsul Azma, 2012003. Alright, so let me introduce to you about our project. So IIM Complaint Management System is a system that we have created for students and staff to voice out their opinions or complaints about any types of issues such as sexual harassment, behavioral misconduct, theft, fraud, vandalism, and others. The purpose of this project is to make it easier for the IIM community to file complaints and request that the relevant authorities take appropriate action. The system is also an initiative to improve the current IIM complaint system, which is the Office of Ombudsman. Right. So our project scope is about a software which is a comprehensive complaint management system that is designed to streamline the process of handling complaints, fostering an open and responsible environment by improving communication between users and the authorities. And the complaint management system aims to streamline workflow, organize and categorize complaints, and promote internal communication between authorities. It aims to increase customer happiness, shorten problem-solving times, and provide insightful analysis and reporting on common issues. And the system also offers better user experience and systemic issue resolution, promoting a healthy organizational culture and overall productivity. It covers user registration, complaint filing, case management, reporting, analytics, and interaction with the other departments or authorities. So the objectives of our project are: one, to enhance the complaint management system that has already existed in IIUM; two, to widespread this system to the whole IIUM community; and then three, to facilitate students and staffs who want to file a complaint through an online system. And here are the stakeholders, which is the significant parties or people who are involved in the system, which is students, kuliah and staffs, Daya Bersih, and OSEM and OLAM. So these two are the authorities. Alright, next. So this is our software process model. Our group chose the incremental model for our software process model because it divides the software requirements into modules or increments according to use case scenarios. This focuses on adding new features to existing system, representing an increment in functionality and quality. Each use case has its own increment, where each increment involves key activities such as communication, planning, modeling, construction, and deployment. Alright, so this is our project's overall use case diagram. So the use case diagram describes the whole interactions between the system and the users. So the users here are the staff and the students, while the other users is called as authorities, which is awesome, Office of Security Management, OLA, which is Office of Legal Advisor, and Daya Bersih, which is Daya Bersih Sedia Berhad. Next, I will let my first group member to present his part, which is the registration use case.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rafi Hamshari bin Azhar. My metric number is 2312887. So here I'll be explaining about the use case specification for registration. So for our objective to make this use case spec is to make sure unregistered users can register the account without any issues. So for the user will be an unregistered user. So for the precondition is that the user doesn't have an account within our system. So for the frequency of use is frequent. As for our system, to use our system, we have to be an registered user. So we get over to the basic flow. So the use case starts when user accesses the registration page through system interface. Then the system will prompt the user to enter the required registration information such as student or staff ID, email, full name, and password. Then user will enter the registration information and will submit the registration form. After that, the system will validate the user input. So here we have two alternative flow, where there will be an invalid input and existing email address. So for the invalid input will be, for example, there will be a unrecognizable ID or for the existing email address is when the email address is already recognized in our system. So after the system will validate the user input, the system will create a new user account using the provided information by the user. So here, if there is an technical failure on behalf of our system, there will be an exception flow. Then the system will redirect the user to the login page after successful registration. Finally, the use case ends when the system displays the login page. Then for the exception flow, we have is technical failure during the creating the account. So for the first step, the system will display an error message and will prompt the user to try again. Then the use case will end there. Then we have a post condition. We have two post conditions where the user will be successfully registered an account and will be redirected to the login page after successful registration. So here is our GUI design for the user to input their registration information. So here is our test case. For the description, we will be testing the sign up process so that the user can sign up successfully without any error. So for the precondition will be the user hasn't created an account yet in order to register for our system. The technique we'll be using is equivalence partitioning. So for the first step will be the user navigate to the sign up page from the login page, and the expected result will be system displays the sign up page. And for the actual result is that the sign up page is displayed. For the second step, the user will enter a student or staff ID. The expected result will be user entering their student or staff ID. Then the user will enter the email, and it will be the same for until the password. Then for the last step, the user will click on the submit button. So for this, the expected result will be user successfully created an account for our system and is able to log in and proceed to the next page in order to use our system in order to file a complaint. Then the actual result will be an account has been created and can be used to log in and proceed to the next page to file a complaint. So here we have is our prototype where we finalize the design. This is our final design. We have provided 4 boxes where the user can input their information. Here we have the staff or student ID, email, full name and password. Then we can hit on submit. So we have an example. Here we have 2311 is the ID, and here is their email address, and here is the full name, and here is the password to use for our login page. Then the user will hit submit and the account will be registered in our system.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putra Dini Irfan bin Muhammad Rizal with metric number 2311025. So I will be presenting about the login process for our system. To start off, I will be talking about the use case spec for our system. So the use case starts when the user accesses the login page of our system, and then the system will prompt the user to enter their staff or student ID and password. Next, the user will enter their login information, their ID and password, and then they will click on submit. Next, the system will validate the user input. In here, there will be one alternative flow, which is the user enters an invalid password, and also an exception flow. It will happen when the user have not created an account yet. Next, the system will proceed to the next page of the system when the user input is validated, and then the system will redirect the user to the action page, and the use case will end when the system has displayed the action page. So here is the simple GUI design that we have came up with. Now I'm going to talk about the test case for the login process. So it starts off. So the first test step is to navigate to the login page after selecting either student or staff or authorities category, and the test data will be the link to our site. and then the expected result will be login page displayed, and the actual result is the login page date display. So the status will be passed, and there will be a note where there are two options to choose: student, staff, or authorities before the user can be directed to the login page. The second step is when user enters a valid ID number in the student or staff ID field. So the test data will be an ID number, which is 2311111, and then the expected result is user managed to enter their ID number into the field, and the actual result is user entered the ID number, so the status will be passed. Then next, the user will enter a valid password in the password field. So the test data will be 12345678 as the password, and then the expected result will be the user is able to enter their password into the password field, so the status will be passed. And lastly is the user clicks on the login button. So the test data will be login button, and the expected result is user has successfully logged in into our system, and the system will redirect them to the system's categories page, and the expected result is the same, so the status will be passed. There is a side note, which is the unregistered accounts will not be able to log in and will not be navigated to the system's categories page. And lastly, this is our prototype design for our login page, and we have kept our minimalistic and simple look all throughout our whole system, and this is our login page design. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, it's me again, Aris Azwan. So here's the use case specifications for the file or post-complaint functionality. So the purpose of this use case is to allow the registered users under the system to send the complaints to the system and to let know the authorities about the complaints. So the preconditions are: one, the user must have already registered the data into the system. Two, the user should have access by the system by logging in using their registered account. Okay, so the use case starts when the user opens the system and logging into the system. Then the system displays the option to choose whether to post a complaint or to review a complaint. And then the user clicks on the post complaint because the main flow of this use case is to post a complaint. Then the system shows the categories like vandalism, sexual harassment, and behavioral misconduct. So the user chooses whichever the category. If the category is not listed, then they should click on the others option. Then the system shows the complaint form where it is the party of the issue, i.e. students or staff, date of the incident, location, complaint description, follow-up, and the picture of proof. So the user fills all the details, and the system will store all the information into the database and send to the authorities. Then the screen shows the view page, and the use case ends when the user clicks the log out. The use case ends when the system displays the login screen, which is after when the user clicks the logout button. Alright, so here's the first GUI design. So it firstly shows the complaint categories. So the user just have to choose one of the 5 complaint categories. And then after that, the system will show the complaint form. So here's the second GUI design. The user just have to complete the form and click the button submit. Okay, so before I'll be going on to the prototype, I will show you the testing phase first. So there are a lot of test cases, but I will just show you one, which is testing under the complaint under the vandalism category. So I use the equivalence partitioning technique. The preconditions are the user has successfully logged into the web, and the user needs to select the post complaint button. Alright, so the test starts at step 1. After the user logs in, they have to click post complaint. This is the link to the website, and it is expected that the user can click the post complaint action. So the tester has tested it and passed. Okay, step 2 is the user have to choose vandalism, and the expected result is the user can click the vandalism button and the complaint form will be displayed. Pass. Step 3 is Step 3 selects to the option in the drop down box. Pass. Step 4 fill in the details like date, location, and description. Pass. And then go to step 7, complete the follow-up complaint. It is expected that the test is shown and saved by the system. Pass. Step 8, upload an image, any type of image. Like here we have file 20231211 underscore 1134 .jpg. and the file name is shown. So the tester has tested it, passed. And then step 9, submit the form, and then thank you page will be displayed by the system after submitted the form, pass. And then lastly, the post conditions are the user should be able to send the complaint under the vandalism category. Second, the user can proceed to fill in the complaint form. Third, the user will have to choose either to make another complaint or to review the posted complaint. And then the fourth one is the user logs out. Okay, so let's move on to the prototype phase. Alright, so the screen will display a chosen action because as the precondition I said before, the user must already log into the system. Okay, so we have to choose the post complaint. Alright, then the system will display the complaint categories, which it has vandalism, sexual misconduct, behavioral misconduct, thief or fraud, and then others if the categories that you want to complain are not listed. So let's choose vandalism. Alright, so here's the complaint form. Then we just have to complete the form by filling the relevant information. Here, right, describe the problems, decide follow up, and then we have to upload the image. Here we have already provided the file, and then click button, submit. Alright, and then the system displays the thank you page, and then it will let us to choose to file another complaint or to review the posted complaints or to log out. So click log out. Alright, then it goes back to the main screen. So that's it for the main use case for post complete system. Alright, thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shazwan Faris and I'll be presenting the complaint update part. So we start with the use case specification for complaint update. So the objective of this specification is to allow authorities to update the complaint so that the user knows what actions have been done to resolve their complaint. And the user or actor for this specification is the authorities, which is Awesome, Ola, and Daya Bersih. And the precondition for this use case is authorities can update the complaint. Only authorities can update the complaint. And the basic flow start with when the authority clicks on review button for vandalism category type on the list of complaint page. And there are three alternative flow here, which is for behavioral misconduct, theft or fraud, and sexual misconduct. And the system will prompt the complaint review data on the selected complaint and an update button. Second step is the user will click on the update button and the system will prompt update on complaint form containing updated by, date updated, complaint status, authorities ID, and an update section to be filled by the user. And then the user will proceed to fill in the update on complaint form. And the first step is the user will click on the update button after completing the form, and the system will store the data entered. And there are one exception flow here, which is validation error. And the use case ends when the system display complaint updated and navigates the user back to the list of complaint page. And the post condition for this use case specification is that the student or staff who submit the complaint can review the update and actions that have been taken for their complaint. And the status for updated complaint types will display finish. Here is the GUI design. So for this page is the list of complaint page for the authorities, and this page is made to make the authorities easier to review and review the complaint from the student. And this page shows the review page for the authority, and the purpose for this page is to provide the most information about the complaint to the authorities, and it will show the type of complaint, the image uploaded, and the desired follow-up to the authorities. And from here, the authorities need to click on the update button to navigate to update on complaint part. And for this part is the page for the authorities to respond to the complaints. Next is test case for complaint update. So the module name is updating complaints, and the test title is testing to update complaints. So here is to test to update complaints for Awesome after the actions that have been done, so that it can be viewed from the one who complained. And the technique is equivalent partitioning. And the precondition is the user need to select authorities before logging in. So the first step for this test case is the user need to navigate to which one are you page, and here there are two options to be choose from, which is post complaint or review complaint. And next we click on the complaints to be updated. So here we can click on the review button, and next we will click on the update button to proceed updating the complaint. And next it will show the update form, and we need to fill in the form. So first select the drop down button and select Awesome option, and after that we fill in the date, and also select the drop down button to choose action, which is reviewed, and actions taken. And there are two options here, which is reviewed only and reviewed and actions taken. And there are also three options available for the select drop down button here, which is Awesome, Ola, and Daya Bersih. And the seventh step is the user need to proceed to fill in the authorities ID. And next is to fill in the update for the complaint. And then to save the data, we can click on the update the complaint button. And the status for all of these test case is passed. And the post condition is the student or staff who submit the complaint can review the update and actions that have been taken for their complaint. And the status for updated complaint types will display finish. Next is for our prototype. So this page is the interface where it can only be accessed by the authorities for them to review the complaints. And after the complaint has been reviewed and actions have been taken, the authorities can update the complaint. And the complaints and the update also can be printed after hand for filling and reporting purpose. So from here, we need to click review button, and it will show this page. So this page is the uh, complaint data by the user. And so here they also can see the image attached by clicking on this part. And after viewing this data, the user can update the status of the complaints by clicking the update button here. And it will show the update on complaint form. So the user need to fill in all of these form, which consists of updated by, date updated, complaint status, and authorities ID. And also fill in the update part here, which tells the user or the person who complain about what actions have been done towards their complaint. And click on update button to save the data. Okay, so that's all for my part. Thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arifin bin Muhammad Anif with matric card number 2013557. So now I will explain on the print complaint part. So this is the use case specification for the print complaint. So the objective of this part is to allow the authorities to print out the complaint so that the complainants will know that it is official for reporting and also auditing. So the user or actor for this part is authorities, which is Awesome, Ola, and also WC. And then the preconditions for this part is only authorities can print the complaint, and the complaint is already reviewed and updated status. This is the use case specifications for the print complaint. So the use case starts when the user clicks on authorities button on the choose an action. And then the system displays a list of complaints that have been submitted by the complainants after the authorities log in. And then the user clicks on the print button on the print section of any complaint the user wants to print. And then the system will display the official complaint report.
Next, the user clicks the print button at the bottom of the page to print the complaint, and the system will send the information to the printer to print out the complaint report. And the last one is the system will prompt a screen saying that the complaint report is successfully printed. The use case ends when the authorities clicks the done button. So this is the GUI design for print complaint. So at this page, the user, which is the authorities, need to select the authorities box, and then the user will be redirected to this page, the list of complaints page, and to print the complaints report, the user need to click on the print button at the right side of the page. After clicking the button, the system will prompt this page which will show the preview of the complaint report. And to print the report, the user need to click the print button at the bottom of the page. And then this page will appear on the screen that say the report is successfully printed. And then for the test case, this is the test case for the print complaint by the module name of print complaint. So the title is to testing to print reviewed complaint. The description is it is used to testing to print the complaint that has been reviewed by the authorities, and it used the equivalence partitioning technique. So for the test case for the print complaint, the tester will test the navigation, and then the tester will test to select the complaint and then to click the print button to print the report. So it is expected that the system will execute all this function well. And then for the prototype, we will move on to the Figma for the print complaint. So at this page, the authority need to click the authorities box, and then they need to log in first, and then he or she will be redirected to this list of complaints page. And then to print the complaint, the user need to click this button, which is the print button at the right side of the page. And then this is the page where the system will prompt the preview of the complaint report. So to print this complaint report, the user need to click the print button at the bottom of the page. And then this is the page where it says that the report is successfully printed. So that's all for complaint print part.
Alright, so thank you so much for listening to our project, and I hope you like what our project is about. So thank you for our lecturers, which is Dr. Azim Bidinudin and Dr. Masarema. Thank you for teaching us and guiding us throughout the assignments and projects. And I hope you will have a blessed life, inshallah. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.